I'm Cassidy.
Hi, this is Aditya.
We're with the WinCity real estate team, and today we're really excited to be talking with Susan Wilcock.
Yeah.
You want to introduce her?
Yeah, because I've been working with her from my first property, and since then we are still buying properties and she's been helping me. So I know her better than anyone else at least. So she's been in industry for more than 25 years in RBC, and she's been helping people like me to buy properties from last 15 years to get the mortgages. So we have to hear things from her. So pay attention.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm Susan Wilcock, and I am a mortgage specialist with RBC. I love helping clients obtain their dream of home ownership. I guess I was brought in today to just cover off some tips as far as first-time home buying. And if I gave any word of advice, I would say please be document ready. So that means basically having your income documents prepared when you are sitting in front of a mortgage specialist in order to get pre-approved. Some of the documents that RBC requires is basically 2 current pay stubs, your T4s, a letter of employment if you've been on the job for less than 6 months. If overtime is consistent, and you need to show a 2-year average, so you might be required to bring in 2 T4s the last 2 years that can be verified. Other than that, RBC basically provides a firm approval, and there's a lot of different mortgage pre-approvals out there. So we want to make sure that your viewers have a firm pre-approval. In the Windsor-Essex market, as you know, everything is really happening quite quickly. And there's not a lot of time to be thinking about certain things. So to be mortgage ready or be pre-approved ready, that basically means when you're sitting in front of me at RBC, I'm going to do your credit bureau up front. I'm going to check all your income docs. I'm going to make sure that you have your 90-day history on any funds being used for the down payment. If it's a gift of funds from parents, I have a pro forma letter to make it real easy for the first-time home buyers. But we usually cover that off in the meeting.
Actually, that's a great thing that came in, because when I started buying my properties, I was in this bidding war. Like, we were bidding like crazy for like 15 people, but I cannot go with a cash offer because I don't know if I'm going to get the mortgage. So now this firm approval.
Firm approval, yeah. I was so happy to hear about that you can get everything prepared ahead of time. Different than a pre-approval, an actual firm approval going into writing your offer gives you such a better chance of getting it.
It definitely gives you the competitive edge, especially for you guys too. We work in really good partnerships because I can do the pre-approval and you guys can do the evaluations, basically property evaluations. So together it's a great team, and we work on behalf of you in order for you to obtain your dream home.
Awesome. So you mentioned some of the documents that people would have to bring in, T4s and everything. How about for people who are self-employed? What kind of options do they have?
Great question. For a self-employed individual, you would need 2 years worth of income tax and notice of assessments. Some of my clients will show that they worked in that industry before opening up their industry, showing the consistency of that income. But yeah, we can go over all those special requirements as far as self-employed individuals. But again, 2 years worth of tax returns, including your statement of business activities and notice of assessments.
Awesome.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question there. So now, if I'm buying first-time property, and I always got confused before I purchased property, what's the purchase plus improvement?
Oh, great question, Aditya. So when you purchase a property, not every property is going to be up to your expectation. So maybe you want to do some kitchen renovations, maybe you want to do some flooring renovations, maybe there's a bathroom that needs to be updated. The default insurers offer a program for people that are purchasing either investment properties or their primary residence. Basically, it allows you to purchase up to 20% of your purchase price on top of your purchase price to do those immediate home renovations that need to be done.
Yeah.
The key there is that money is held back, and you have 6 months to complete the renovations. Then the money is provided back to the client when they can show paid receipts.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, that's great. And so I know a lot of times what my clients who are investors will do, especially if they're, what they'll do, they'll get the quotes, submit them, get the purchase plus improvements mortgage. They'll use like a line of credit to do the renovations. And then once they finish the renovations, they get that money back from
Correct.
the bank, and then they pay off their line of credit. Now it's all wrapped into their mortgage.
And it is a very quick turnaround time. From the time I get the paid receipts, that money from head office goes to the lawyers within 48 hours.
Nice.
So it's a very quick turnaround time. You're just robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, and I got my second time right now. I got for my first property for improvements, and I appreciated the property value.
Right.
So that's a crazy thing. We are using banks' money to make money in our property, make equity in our property. So that's a great way to start it.
Absolutely, and for a lot of first-time home buyers, it's nice to know that those improvements costs are in the mortgage right from day one. So you're not carrying a line of credit plus your mortgage at the end of the day. It allows you to put everything into the mortgage, and cash flow moving forward is in the best interest of the client.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful. So giving you the competitive edge is very important to me. As a mortgage specialist with RBC, I'm available to my clients 6 days, 7 days out of the week. Most of offers are done in the evening, so it gives the realtors a person and a point of contact that they can text me, they can email me, or they can call me, and just knowing, taking that stress out of making the offers.
Yeah.
So I offer that as an extended customer service for myself.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned at the beginning, but just to emphasize the point, especially for people who are just looking at buying their first property, to make sure that you're going through this whole process of the pre-approval before you even start looking at homes.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
important to know, because you might think you want a $350,000 house, but you don't know for sure that you can actually get that until you've sat down with a mortgage specialist and gotten your pre-approval. Even if you have the down payment that's enough for that property, it'll depend on your income and all the other documents that you'll be providing. So
Yeah, because there's these special things called total debt service ratio and gross debt service ratio that are guidelines by the Canadian government that us as of lenders, we have to abide by those. So it's not all your income that is being brought into the household that is going to be used to service that mortgage. So, but I explain the ratios and I explain your purchasing power. So even before you call up and say, I'm going to look at $250,000, $300,000 homes, you're going to know exactly what you can afford.
And one question that many investors ask me, and probably Cassidy might heard this question all the time: how many properties can I buy?
Okay, so you can purchase under the residential lending program up to 5 properties right now. So you can have your primary residence, maybe a second home, either a cottage or a second home for a child going to the university. And then you could purchase 3 other investment properties. And those investment properties, we can use the income being generated from those properties to help you service your investment properties.
Yeah.
Okay.
And follow-up question for that one.
Yeah.
So when you mean by residential, how many units is considered as residential?
You can do up to 5 units per property.
Okay.
Okay, so 5 doors. Yeah.
And then anything above 5 units in one property becomes a commercial mortgage.
Small business lending,
Small business.
yes. And if I'm sitting in front of a client and there's a gray area between 5 and 6, I can do a 6-plex under the residential. But again, every client's application is a little bit different. So we will assess that application at that time. And if I have to bring in my counterpart from small business, we will do that.
Yes.
Absolutely. We also lend under the residential mortgage program to a holdco. Okay, so if you're one or two people that have holding companies, and a holding company is developed just to hold assets. So whether that be cash, certificates, or real estate, you can do that. We don't usually advise on why that's important. We usually refer you to our accountants to answer any legal questions regarding the holdcos, but we can hold residential mortgages underneath the holdco.
Yeah, that's actually very important.
We get that question a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot.
Even
Yes.
like I have done 2 of my properties on holdco.
Yes.
That's very important when you're scaling up. So just talk to your accountant. But from our experience, it's always when you're scaling too much, it's good to put the liability on, separately on the corporation. So that way you're differentiating. But RBC lend on holdcos for residential properties.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have that conversation another time
Sure,
with an
yeah, exactly.
accountant.
That's
When to
lot more.
incorporate and when
Yeah,
not.
yeah, that's
It's
actually
a big topic of
yeah.
conversation. Yeah.
Definitely. Let's
Yeah.
not go in deep into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Was there
that's-
anything else you wanted to cover? I think that's all my questions.
Yeah, that's a lot of information. I know it's a lot to consume, but I really, really appreciate for accepting our invitation and coming down and giving this much nuggets. It's really, I appreciate. Thank you so
Yeah, I'm
much.
sure
No,
everyone will find
thank
that
you.
really helpful. And if they do have any other questions, how
Yeah.
can they find you?
Oh, I can be reached at 519-566-2600, or I believe you're going to put my
Yeah,
link.
information.
Yeah.
to-
You'll get the link down there.
Absolutely. We're always running different specials throughout the summer months, so please stay tuned. Please call me, get in touch with me through Aditya, and we'll move from there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
sounds good.
Thank you very much for inviting me today, guys. This is
That's
really
just
great.
awesome. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Good
All right,
luck on your
that's all.
home buying experience.
Yeah, good luck, and just keep in touch with mortgage person and real estate agent for every step of the process. That way your process will be peaceful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great people on your team.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.